This is Rogers TV.
Interest payments were going up, creditors were calling. I finally realized I needed help. The people at Janes & Noseworthy really took care of me, and I'm glad I chose a local solution. I felt like they understood me better. Getting help with my debt has given me the energy, the headspace, and the time to make my dreams come true. A chance to start again with knowledge, support, and people in your corner. Are you looking for that kind of help? It's okay.
Learn more about Leah's story at janesnoseworthy.ca.
Did you have fun? Check this out. It's nice, right?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Laurabel. On tonight's episode, we get to chat about something I find very cool, the St. John's International Women's Film Festival. I'll be joined by two wonderful guests, Meghan Hollett, who's currently the Interim Executive Director of the Film Festival, and director Anna Wheeler, who will have a short film premiering called Vegas. We have a cool trailer for you to check out, so sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
Hi, I'm Carl Wells, getting ready to record another edition of Carl Wells Point to Point. It's a program where I chat with members of our community and they talk candidly about their lives and careers, from their earliest dreams to their greatest triumphs. I think you'll find it informative and entertaining. Please join us for Carl Wells Point to Point, right here on Rogers TV.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's.
And welcome back, everyone. I am now joined on the couch by Meghan Hollett, who's currently the Interim Executive Director of the St. John's International Women's Film Festival. Meghan, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much, Laurabel.
And so I'm so excited to have you because you and then St. John's International Women's Film Festival are combining two of my favorite things, which is movies and women's doing cool things. So before we jump into all that your organization does, do you want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am the Interim Executive Director of the St. John's International Women's Film Festival as we head into the 33rd annual festival very soon, October 19th to the 23rd.
Okay, so you guys have been around for 33 years, but what kicked it off for you guys?
Oh, there's been so many pieces that have kicked it off, and we're so honored to be around for over 30 years. It's so important, and we're so glad to continue this work. So we most certainly saw in the early days a lack of people behind the screen and in front of the screen that represented themselves as women that wanted to work within film, whether that was in production, whether that was writing, directing, in lots of different pieces, and acting as well. We certainly saw a lack of representation there. And so for that reason in particular, this is why we've kicked off the festival. And we, unfortunately, we know there's still work to do, and that's why we still exist, and we know that we'll be around for a long while.
Okay, so in 33 years, you guys have had various themes for the film festival. What's this year's theme?
This year's theme, as you can tell from this amazing image, we're looking at a futuristic world and wondering exactly what's to come.
Okay, so in the future of film and television, what have you guys noticed has been a reoccurring theme from your filmmakers, your producers, directors, and the people who come to your film festival?
For us, a reoccurring theme is honestly about community and the community we build. And making sure that we offer space for people that are in the industry, as well as film lovers, to really get to know who's behind the camera, understand the industry a little bit better, and possibly want to join that industry. We have a booming film industry right now in our province, and we're really excited about that, and we want to see more people get involved in that. So creating that space, so that's why during our 5-day festival, we also have our film forum. And so during that time, people can learn a little bit more about how do I pitch an idea? How do I make a film? What is a pitch deck? All these different pieces. So we have educational aspects as well. And of course, while this happens during our film festival for 5 days, we are a nonprofit that exists all year long. So we have lots of different programs that go on throughout the year.
Okay, so right now it's a little too late to get involved in this year's film festival, but what would an up-and-coming director, an up-and-coming producer, writer do if they wanted to reach out to you? How would they get in contact with the film festival?
Absolutely. In ways, it's too late in case you wanted to have a film this year at our festival. But if you're thinking that, hey, I have this really great story, I have this experience, I have this idea that I really want to pitch, but like, who do I pitch it to? What do I do? I'd encourage people to come and get involved in our film festival this year, just to get a taste, meet some people, understand how they did it. So that can be in person. We have in-person elements as well as online. Join some of our online educational opportunities, learn the lingo, and then you'll meet some of the people as well that work in this industry. Those kinds of things, like I mentioned earlier about building community and making those contacts, that goes really far.
Okay, so I know it's called St. John's International Women's Film Festival, but does this program happen to support the rest of the province as well?
Absolutely, yep. So yeah, it's a little bit of both worlds there, St. John's plus international. So we certainly feature films that are made by local filmmakers, and we're very excited about that. We'll be doing that again this year on a particular evening in person on Saturday, October 22nd, but also you can see them online. But we do also screen a lot of projects from across Canada and international.
Okay, perfect. So what age ranges typically work with you guys in terms of participants who are involved in the festival?
Most of our people that are involved are going to be 18 plus. It's important to note that our films, because they are so brand new, these are not rated. So we do have a lot of warnings and things like that on all our films. You can catch all of that information on our website, womensfilmfestival.com. In case there's any trigger warnings or things like that that the filmmaker wanted people to be aware of. Mainly our audience is 18 plus.
Okay, that's awesome. So if I'm a viewer watching at home who is younger and under the age of 18 but still wants to find out how I can be involved in all the great work that you guys do, what can I still participate in?
Absolutely, yep. Please go onto our website by all means. There are lots of different things. We do have some volunteers this year. We do have film programs. We have featured over the years the Framed program that at times has included young people as well. We've shot movies with classrooms and things like that. There's lots of different programs that folks can get involved in.
Perfect. Do you mind sharing a little bit of some of your other programming? Because I know the film festival is the big thing, but as an organization, there's lots more that you guys do behind the scenes.
Absolutely. So Framed is one of the projects that I had just mentioned, and that often happens annually or biannually. And that's a chance for people to really learn what it is like to make a film. What does an editor do? What does a director do? And you are with a mentor right there in the time, and you're making a small film with a team, and you get to learn a little bit of all the roles. So that's our Framed program. We also have Seen and Heard, and that's an educational opportunity that happens in March. It also features some films as well. That happens every March, and people have a chance to have Q&As with different people in the industry, learn about different projects that are happening. Lots of different pieces with that as well. Like I said, yeah, there's a chance to see some films as well. Of course, our flagship is the festival and the film forum that happens every October.
That's fantastic. So we've talked a little bit about how individuals can get involved. How do organizations and larger community members contribute to making this a success for you guys?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So for us, the larger community is so important in so many different ways. This year in particular, we have 40 jurors. We had an open call for our jury members this year, and so we had over 100 people apply.
Wow.
And so for us, that's so important because the jury is who is curating what is shown at this time right now. And so we know that a diverse jury means diverse representation on screen, and that's so important to us. So we have a strong percentage of BIPOC folks, people from the disability community, lots of different communities represented, rural, urban, indigenous, lots of great mix. We're really excited for that. We know that that is the crown jewel and what makes the film festival what it is.
That is so exciting. So when does the typical juror process selection happen? So if for people who are watching this year who want to get involved next year.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, I hope more people apply for our jury. So that happens actually early in the new year.
Okay.
So January, February, we do a call out to get people involved. And then, like I said, we chose 40 this year. And then during the year, between roughly March until July, folks are watching films. They're given a number of films access, and they are viewing and they are rating.
Okay.
So it's basically like they have homework every 2 weeks, but their homework is watching these films.
Obviously, and that's a fun homework for
Totally.
me anyway.
So they get the first eye at what films are being sent into our festival, and then finally they see what cuts are made.
That's awesome. So one last question for you. So let's say I'm a film director and I've managed to put together a short film and I want to hopefully get it into next year's festival. What steps do I need to take to make that a possibility?
I would strongly encourage anybody who is making a film or has already made a film and is thinking, what do I want to do? I would strongly encourage you to get involved with our forum this year. That happens during the 5 days. You'll see really great educational opportunities there to learn a little bit better. How can I match my lingo with a festival? How do I make that marriage, that connection happen so that they choose me? How do I tighten up my pitch a little bit better? What do I need to do more in my editing? What's the leading ways right now? All these kinds of things. I think it's a really great opportunity. All of our forum opportunities this year are free as well. You can enjoy them from home. A lot of opportunities are being offered virtually as well. There are some opportunities in person as well in St. John's.
Awesome.
So I hope to see more people at these events.
That's fantastic. I've really enjoyed having you here and getting to find out a little bit more about the St. John's International Women's Film Festival and what you guys are doing and what you've done. Before I let you go, is there anything you would want our viewers to know?
I would say I would love people to join us for the festival, and that can be in person if that's what you're comfortable with, or if you would like to enjoy at home. I think a lot of people deserve a break and some good entertainment right now, and I would love to share that with you.
Perfect. And before you go, so you said there would be options to attend virtually and in person. So how do we access those?
Absolutely. So we have an opening, a closing, as well as a local specific night. So those are 3 opportunities for you to visit in person. Opening night is October 19th. That's a Wednesday evening. That's going to be at Cineplex at 7 o'clock. Closing night is going to be as well at Cineplex in St. John's, and that's also going to be at 7 o'clock. And that's on Sunday night, October 23rd. And our local night specific, so that is a screening that features just Newfoundland and Labrador filmmakers. That's going to be at LSPU Hall on Saturday. That's October 22nd with a 2 p.m. screening, and that screening will have socially distanced seating, and as well as a Q&A afterwards, and closed captioning on screen, as well as a 7:30 screening that won't have social distance seating. There'll also be a Q&A. Options as well for your Cineplex seating. If you would like socially distanced seating, one of our auditoriums will have that as well.
That's fantastic. So everyone else will be able to partake in the rest of the things virtually through your website, I believe?
Absolutely, yeah. All other films, we have 41 other films that will be screened online virtually, so a lot to choose from. Just visit our website, womensfilmfestival.com.
It's been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you and find out all the great things the St. John's International Women's Film Festival is doing. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laurabel.
And we'll be right back, everybody.
It all started when I racked up some serious debt. Interest payments were going up, creditors were calling. Janes and Noseworthy came up with a plan. Knowing that the phone was going to stop ringing and that I was not in this alone was a huge relief. Bankruptcy or a consumer proposal or whatever help you get is not the end. It's just the beginning. A chance to start again with knowledge and support and people in your corner. Are you ready? Get out of debt. It's okay.
Learn more about Leah's story at janesnoseworthy.ca.
Sometimes it's hard to say goodbye to an old friend. But when you're saying farewell to your vehicle, Kidney Car makes it fast and easy. Just call or visit our website. We'll take any vehicle in any condition and give you a tax receipt for a minimum of $300. No headaches and no towing charges. It's the one-stop solution for getting rid of your unwanted vehicle in just a few short minutes. When your vehicles reach the end of the road, call us toll-free or visit kidneycar.ca.
Welcome back, everyone. I am now joined by Anna Wheeler, director of Vegas, one of the short films that will be premiering at this year's St. John's International Women's Film Festival. Anna, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.
So before we get into all the amazing things about your film and how it got to the film festival, I want to give our viewers a chance to get to know a little bit about you. So who is Anna Wheeler?
Well, my name is Anna. I'm a writer, director, and producer from St. John's. And this year, I'm fortunate enough to have my short film, Vegas, a part of the Women's Film Festival lineup, playing at the closing night of the festival. And I was fortunate enough to be the recipient of the festival's RBC Emerging Filmmakers Award this year.
That is so cool. But I want to get to know a little bit more about you before that. So before Anna Wheeler became this year's RBC winner and film festival premiere lineup, who was she? How did she decide filmmaking was something for her?
Well, I've always been really interested in the arts. I grew up in St. John's, very vibrant music scene here. I grew up playing classical violin, doing musical theater. I went to Holy Heart High School, which has a very robust kind of choral and theater scene. I left St. John's for about 10 years, decided to go to Ryerson University to pursue acting. So not quite film, but film adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah. And eventually I realized I missed home too much, decided to come back and start working in the film industry, which had taken off in the last decade or so here. Decided to dip my toe into that water. And I love it. I find the community here is really welcoming, especially to newcomers. Film has always been interesting to me, but I found it was really a medium that you could learn on the job. No one seemed to mind that, I didn't have a film degree or, that much experience under my belt. As long as you were interested and ready to come to work for 12 plus hours a day, they were happy to have you. And I kind of started getting interested in film as a kid, chasing my brothers around with, like, back in the day, the 90s, the big 90s camera, the VHS tape, and like chasing them around, making like horror films and stuff like that. And then in high school, in art class, they asked us to do an art project in any medium you wanted. And I didn't particularly like school, so I took the VHS camera and pipped off for the week and decided to make a film, which caught some interest from the Women's Film Festival. Michelle Jackson was working there at the time, and she was a strong advocate for young people trying to get into film. And so she kind of took me under her wing and allowed me to present that film when I was in high school at the festival. And unfortunately, Michelle passed away in 2008. So in honor of her, the Women's Film Festival has set up this award, the Michelle Jackson Award, which is part of the RBC Emerging Filmmakers Award that I won this year. So in a a nice, kind of also very poignant way. I'm glad that she was able to be a part of the film that I made this year for the festival. Yeah.
So that's very touching, and I'm really glad it kind of gave you a full circle moment from your pipping off during high school to making it back to the St. John's International Women's Film Festival. So you mentioned that you dipped your toe in early when you were younger, running around with the camera with your brothers. So was directing your immediate passion, or did you want to write more?
I think and I think it's something in like the culture of coming from an island, how like important storytelling is to us. And you know, I came from a family that it was like 6 p.m. is supper time, you know, no radio on, no TV, just us sitting down at the table, either sharing stories about our day or, you know, trying to make each other laugh or something like that. So it's like storytelling's always been really kind of important socially, through my family and my friends, and just culturally, you know, where we live. We're just an island of storytellers. So yeah, I think directing, being able to mold a story, to make people laugh, to make people feel something, has always really interested me. Writing, writing is a necessary evil for me. I find it very, very difficult.
So you're a director through and through. That's where it lives in your heart.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of directing, you directed the film Vegas.
Vegas, yes.
So let us know, what's Vegas about?
Yeah, so Vegas is a short, it's a 10-minute piece. It's set in downtown St. John's. And it follows a night in the life of a young woman who drives a taxi cab for a living. And on this particular night, she picks up a kind of unassuming stranger. And the film follows their very brief encounter, yet a very meaningful encounter as they take this cab ride together. Yeah.
So what was the inspiration for this particular film for you?
Oh, my goodness. I think I drew a lot of inspiration just from growing up downtown myself, the kind of characters you meet along the way. I'm very drawn to kind of anti-heroes.
Okay.
The character in the piece played by Rhiannon Morgan, she's a little bit of a hard ticket, you know, a little misunderstood. I find characters like that really interesting. The story is also about two people kind of searching for connection, two people that are struggling to find their own communities. And I found, you know, personally growing up on an island in Newfoundland, it can be very welcoming, but it can also be very isolating. And the way we kind of search out connection can often be complex. So I thought it would be interesting to find kind of two characters kind of on that same journey and placing them in the same spot. I also draw a lot of inspiration from, you know, St. John's itself. So I wanted to kind of personify the city in some way. The architecture, the people, the weather. And so I thought, what better way to do that than see it through the eyes of a taxi driver, someone who has to come up against all these elements every day. So yeah.
Well, that's really fantastic, and it's really great to see how you drew on your personal life experience to build this film. So what, as a filmmaker, do you hope people can take from this as they come to the film festival?
Oh my goodness. What could people take for it? I hope they feel something, whether that's a little bit of humor or just feeling a sense of being moved at all. I mean, making a short film is very difficult. It's very difficult. You're using all the elements that you normally would in film or TV. You know, we're used to seeing, you know, watching TV in a format of 30 minutes, an hour, or a couple hour length movie. So imagine trying to tell your whole story in a 10-minute time frame, but using all those things, the lights, the sets. It can be very challenging. And that's my favorite part about what the festival offers, being able to watch shorts from all over the world and just see how storytellers use all these different elements try to make the audience feel something. I think that's really exciting, especially in, this day and age where we have, YouTube, TikTok. Anyone can go online and make a story. It's those other elements. It's the crew working together, the costumes, the actors, the way the director tells their unique perspective that I think is really fun. So if I can make an audience member, feel just something, even just to look at it and go, oh, I've never seen St. John's look that way before. Maybe we put, some interesting colors across a building, or, just a little spark of imagination. Yeah, I think we've done our job.
It's been absolutely fantastic getting to hear it from your point of view as a director and getting to see what you were trying to capture in those 10 minutes. Before I let you go, what's one thing you would want all of our viewers tonight to know about either the festival, you, or your movie?
Oh my gosh, if you haven't gone to the festival, so the festival is 33 years young, the same age as myself. So I've been going to it for a long time. And there are certain films, short films that I've seen there that have stayed with me for my whole life. So if you haven't had the opportunity to go before, I really encourage everyone to come out and experience it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media.
I had so much fun getting a chance to talk to Meghan and Anna about the St. John's International Women's Film Festival. If you're interested in checking it out this year, you can check it out from October 19th to 23rd, both virtually and in person. You can visit their website at womenfilmfestival.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys again soon.
If you have a comment about